Why? Why?
Then they get to ask themselves that important question, why?
Hello, everyone. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the Why podcast. Today, we have a friend, a coworker, an environmental activist, and a film expert. From Adobe Illustrator to the queen of cult horror films, please welcome my friend Lily.
Whoa, what an intro. Thank you. Hi. Happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. This is so exciting. I'm really, really pumped to do this. I feel like we're both in AMA, so we are always talking to each other throughout the weeks and stuff. And I feel like this topic gets brought up a lot for some whatever reason. So I'm really excited to dive deep into it.
Chief Creative Officer, or one of the Chief Creative Officers of AMA, American Marketing Association at PACE. I'm studying film production and film studies, minoring in film studies. So I'm looking to go into the film production industry. When I was in high school, I don't really know what else to say. I guess I'll just do sort of like an elevator pitch type deal.
Hell yeah.
So when I was in high school, I trained to be a yoga instructor, which really I feel like started my drive to do things and get stuff done, you know. My best friend, her brother's girlfriend owned a yoga studio in my town. Ooh. Yeah, that's hard to follow. My best friend, her brother, his girlfriend owned a yoga studio in my town. So always went to classes with her. She dragged me to classes. I was like, I don't want to go to yoga. I want to just sit home and, I don't know, watch TV. So I went, loved it. I think everyone loves yoga. I've never met someone who hated it. So she actually trained to be a yoga instructor first, and she encouraged me to do it. So I was like, yes, I can do this. I'm going to do it. This is great. 200 hours within a month. So I was doing it every single day, practicing and learning for 8 hours a day, every day for 1 month during the summer. And it was a lot of fun. I was with people that were 10 to 20 years older than me every single day. And my best friend, she always came to the trainings because she was already a teacher there. So she was there as well. But it really spiked my maturity level big time. When I went back to high school the next year, I was like, why am I here? I was finding myself befriending my teachers instead of the students I should have been. It was I was like, did I skip a step? What? I didn't know. So anyway, by the end of the training, I really I was leading classes of 30 to 40 people with no issue. So it really spiked my leadership skills as well, and my public speaking skills. I have no issue talking in front of a giant crowd. They would look at me and expect me to know what I'm doing. So I had to know, I had to show them how to do each pose and do it with them and walk around and help them and align them, adjust them. It was a lot of fun. I don't really do it anymore. I don't teach anymore. I haven't really done yoga in a little bit, which is probably not good, but it's still in me. The knowledge is still in me, marinating. But yeah, so when I went to college, I immediately wanted to be in a leadership position. I immediately wanted to have power. I guess that kind of sounds bad. I'm not power hungry, but I wanted to be in a leadership position because I wanted to be able to make decisions and control things and make a better place for the students, I guess you could say. So I found film club, became the VP, and I resigned the end of my junior year because I did want to focus more on myself and getting internships, hopefully getting jobs. But maybe I did.
The whole point, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
At some point, maybe we could get a job,
Yeah, hopefully, maybe, if we're lucky. But so during my time with Film Club, I came across AMA, and it was actually Marquise, the previous president, that kind of recruited me, I guess, in a way to join and be run for vice president of digital design. And it's funny because I actually was going up against Jacob, who is now my co, and was my co last year. They chose both of us, so
nice.
we just were co's, and we work well together, so we stayed for this year. So now I'm the chief creative officer, was promoted, I guess you could say. And now I oversee the entire creative department you are a part of, and I'm very glad that you're a part of it, because you do great work, and that's what we need. And I'm sad that we're all leaving, but what are you gonna do? We gotta move on. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I'm a Taurus. I was born May 11th. That's my birthday.
Wait, what's our compatibility? I'm a Scorpio. Hold on. Do you know you would know off the top of your head?
I don't know. I'm not like
I'm not either.
I'm not that into it, but I do kind of know like the sketchy signs. Like the ones that you should watch out for, I guess you could say.
Oh, we have high compatibility, I think. High in trust, it's 80% in trust. Communication and intellect is 75%.
Wow.
And emotions were 99%.
Wow.
Wow, damn. I don't really know what that means.
I feel like I get along with you very well, even through Zoom, not even like hanging out in person. So I can totally see that.
Also, for values, we're 99% too. That's pretty high.
Wow. I usually get along with Tauruses as well. My best friend is
along with Scorpios.
Aries.
I definitely don't get along with Scorpios. Scorpios and Scorpios like hate each other. That's like a thing. And every Scorpio I've met, that's been a real thing.
My parents are both Scorpios, and my boyfriend's parents are both Scorpios as well. So it's really funny. But yeah, that's a little bit about me. My boyfriend's a Gemini.
Oh, I love Geminis.
You know, a lot of people say the opposite.
I know. My dad and my best friend are Geminis.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't see the dual personality that everyone says, like the two-faced aspect. I don't see it.
I don't see that either. That's where it's like, I don't know how real that shit is, you know?
I mean, some of it really aligns with the people, and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting how that works. Yeah, and then there's like your rising sign and your moon and your sun.
Yeah, I don't know any of that. I just know I'm a Taurus.
I know Natalie's really into it. We'll have to talk to her about it sometime. All right, cool. So today we're going to talk, our central question, our topic for today is how everything man-made was created with the intention of social control to allow powerful people to get away with whatever they want. So I love this. This is a beautiful.
Loaded statement, but like so true.
So much to talk about in here. I don't even really know how to get started with it.
There's so much to talk about. Okay, let's start with astrological signs.
Oh, love it. All right, cool.
Like, I'm a Taurus. You're Scorpio. And I guess we could start with like religion in a way.
Yes.
Like the Egyptians, which don't quote me on any of this, but
so we know.
I don't have any sources, but I do love watching stuff and reading stuff and just watching documentaries about all of this. So in Egypt, like the ancient Egyptians, obviously, I don't know if it's obvious, but it's inferred that like they couldn't comprehend what the stars were and what the sun was and the moon was. You know, if you were an ancient person, there's no technology. It's the sun. The sun comes up and it goes down, and it's day and night, and it rains sometimes, and you know, like that's all you know. You don't know anything else. Like it's such a closed mind, and it's so hard to think about, so hard to fathom now, like where we are today, which is crazy to me. But it's so understandable that they couldn't even fathom or try to conceptualize what a star is. Yeah. Like it's just a light in the sky. You know?
That's true. There's no like, you know, Google to check in what everything is.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a weird thought.
It's crazy to think about, but I love thinking about crazy things. So they conceptualized it and they personified them like they personified the sun, they personified the stars, which we get astrological signs from, like the Gemini, the Two-Face, the Leo, the lion, the Taurus, the bull, Aries is a ram, I think. But they personified and gave them human or animal attributes to try to help themselves understand it, which is totally understandable because
It's confusing.
I don't know if I can even conceptualize the stars. So, so that's like, you know, in ancient Egypt, they have Ra. Ra is the sun god. And I feel like it all kind of starts there. Like that's where all religions are like based off of, I feel like. The god in each religion is based off of the sun, because the sun god, like you know, in Christianity or Catholicism, it's like the light of the lamb, he's the light. And in ancient paintings and like medieval paintings, and icon, what's the word, iconography in paintings, and like icons. So they would paint like religious figures with like a halo, a spiked halo around their head, and that's the sun. So that's like it's like how do I say this? Like they're just personifying the sun. Their god is the sun. But who created the Bible and like did all of this is for social control, because before this it was just we're worshiping the sky, you know, and it's giving us light every day, and we're worshiping it because it's giving us life. But someone turned it into a religion, which is like a bad way of saying it, but it's like a general way of saying it, I guess, not very in depth. But someone wrote the Bible and someone used it to control the masses. And that's kind of, I feel like, where it all started. Everything we've made basically is to control and to occupy the masses, so that the more powerful people in the world can get away with doing the things that they do. You know, a nation divided is easier to control than a united nation. Yes.
Especially right now.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And it's what the people in power want, because if they have a united nation, then there's gonna be, it could possibly lead to a civil war. You know, like when the US started, we had to break away from England and like make our own nation, you know. That's what happens when you have a united people. And politicians and government and everyone in power does not want that, because then they won't make money, and it's all about money in the end.
About money.
So
power.
So I feel like it all starts with religion in that sense, and it all goes back to like the ancient Egyptians and Ra and how they personified the sun and stars. It's so crazy because people, they invented, like, I guess I'll talk about Christianity and Catholicism. I know they're not the same, but like worshiping God and the 10 commandments. He came up with these 10 things that you have to do or you'll be sent to hell. I saw a comedy skit one time of, I forget his name, it's an older guy, but he said, and then he has, like, I'm quoting him, he was like, and then he has a list of 10 things that you have to do, or you will burn in fiery hell and be tortured for your whole eternal afterlife. But he loves you. He loves you. Don't worry. He loves you. Just do the 10 things and you'll be fine. And that's just like a perfect example of like social control. Who wrote the 10 commandments?
Some dude.
It was a human. It was not the sun. It was not anybody else. Like, it's just crazy to think about.
Yeah. Did you grow up like religious or like with a religion at all? If that's
So
the first one I ask, you don't have to answer, by the way.
no, it's fine. It's fine. I do not practice religion. My parents do not practice religion at all. But both my parents were raised Catholics. And I was baptized, but that was it. Never made my confirmation or communion or any of those things. Never went to Sunday school or like after school or whatever. But I did find that I always wanted to when I was little, because like everyone else did, and like they were doing things after school and I wasn't, and I was like, I want to be involved. And then my mom was like, no, you don't. And I was like, okay.
I went to Sunday school, so trust me, you didn't miss out on anything.
Yeah, I remember we would go to church sometimes with my aunt, and like me and my sister were pretty little, so, and they had 3 kids, so we would all like go into like the basement of the church, and they would have like the kids church, like, because obviously, I mean, like we couldn't understand what the guy was saying with all the adults, so they would like dumb it down for us, I guess you could say. And we would just like do crafts and fun stuff while that was all happening. But like, it's so weird to think about, like people follow this book that they don't even know the origin of.
Facts.
So religiously, they go to a place and give their money every single Sunday. Like, you donate to churches, you donate. It's just so crazy. Like the whole, it goes far as like the Vatican. Like, it's crazy. The Vatican is a whole different government, you know?
Yeah, this is like such a weird concept too.
It's wild. But no, I did not grow up practicing any religion.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone who would practice would be saying the things I'm
They're
saying.
like, yeah, and I'm Buddhist or whatever. I think it's like a religion that isn't Catholic, but yeah, that's fair. I also think it's so interesting how everyone has different religions too. Like I have a friend who's I believe Hindu, and her religion is so different than Catholic. Like it's so like there's like 400 gods, and like she spends like the whole day, like all Sunday and like Monday at temple. Like it's just like that's so much time. And then like her grandparents used to live with her, and they would just like pray like all day.
Yeah, I think hold on a second. I think Hinduism is the religion tied to yoga, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I talked about it with my mom in one of the podcasts, ironically.
Yes, it is Hinduism.
It is? All right.
Because when I did the training, I did learn about like some of the gods and goddesses, and it's crazy because that's a whole different thing. Like yoga and the practice, like the physical practice is so different than when you learn about it, and the mental practice. And like there's 8 limbs of that you need to practice to reach nirvana, and that's Hinduism. It's a whole different religion. It's totally separate than, I mean, they say it's not separate, and they tell you that it's not separate from the mental and the physical, but it completely is. It completely is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, yoga is great, and I think everyone should do it because you literally work out every single muscle in your body without knowing it. Like it's not like lifting. Lifting does the surface level of the muscle.
Yeah.
Yoga goes down to the very first layer of that muscle and builds the base. That's why you see like people who are like good at yoga and can do handstands, they're twigs. They have no muscle mass. They have nothing. So because it's the very base layers of your muscle. And it's like, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
That's interesting. Yeah, my mom can do handstand too, and I'm always like, "How are you doing that, Mom? Like, you're like
the whole anatomy of it is just crazy."
How do you think like social control is like now? Because I definitely agree that like it really starts like right when like everything started and how it integrates with religion and stuff. But like, how do you think it's like relevant nowadays?
Technology, social media.
We should talk about social media. That's a good one.
Yeah, television. The election.
Yeah, election was huge.
Like having to choose on when you register to vote, like having to choose a party. That's a huge thing.
No one
Like
talks about that
even,
too.
yeah, to the point of like cell phone brands, cell phone carriers, like the different programs that they offer. Like AT&T can offer this much for a phone or what is it called? Your plan for a phone plan.
Family plan. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Family plan. Like they could offer the family plan. They could offer, like, if you're a single parent, they probably have a plan for that. If
Yeah.
you're a student, they have a plan for that. It's all categorizing and boxing without even knowing it. Like, obviously I'm going to pay for the student plan for Spotify because it's so much cheaper than the other ones, but now I'm classified as a student and I have to prove that I'm a student, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they take note of you in every single way.
Yeah.
And like even using certain search engines like Google has every single person's information that has ever been on the Google search engine. Like,
That's so
how
scary.
crazy is that? It's
Uh,
so like morbid and scary to think about, but it's so true. And like it makes me want to, like, I know it probably makes a lot of people want to like leave society and go live on the, like, live off the land in Alaska and like the wildlife refuge. And this is not realistic, because yes, it makes us want to like leave society and leave the suburbia or urban life or rural life behind and go live off the land, off the grid in Alaska somewhere in the wildlife. Like, you have to hunt for if you want to eat meat, and like pick some berries if you want to eat fruit, you know? Like
it's the
it
end
makes
goal.
people want to go back to the simple life, but it's so unrealistic because of how our society was manufactured, you know? It's
It's so
like not,
ingrained now too.
yeah, and it's so, the way we think, we don't even realize that we're thinking that way, you know? I'm
Definitely.
trying to think of a good example of that, but I can't think of one off the bat.
I mean, I do feel like one that I think of all the time is mainstream media and the news. Like, they'll talk about something going on, and it's just the wording of how they're saying it. Like, if they use the word evil or like different terms, and it triggers something subconsciously in us, and now we're gonna think, start panicking or whatever it is. Even with coronavirus, great example. I mean, obviously, there's a reason to be upset about it. I'm not trying to discredit that, but it's how it's like that's so manufactured by fear, though. That's a little different, but.
Absolutely. No, it's so relevant.
Yeah.
Like fear is how they control us,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
It's
so
so
much.
crazy. And it's like the media isn't controlling us. It's the people who control the media. It's not even the newscasters, the reporters.
Right. They don't know what's going on.
It's the people who tell them what to say, you know? Like, and I always say this, like, we don't even know the richest people in the world. Like, we think we know who the richest people are, but we don't even know who they are because
No
they
idea.
don't want to be known, you know? They don't want the mainstream media and the masses to know who they are because they're so
Yeah.
rich and they're controlling everything.
That's
It's
so
so crazy.
I mean, I even think about Jeffrey Epstein. Like, I honestly had no idea who Jeffrey Epstein was until the documentary came out. Just
Me
no
neither.
clue. They were like Jeffrey Epstein, like this big thing, and I was like, who the hell is that? Like, I know Mark Zuckerberg, I know Bill Gates. Like, don't get me wrong, but then like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
He's
It's
that
so
whole thing.
crazy.
He's messed up. Oof.
And that's another thing. Like, he had so much money. He
Mhm.
avoided getting arrested for years.
Mhm.
Years. He had that much money that he could pay for people to prevent it for years. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, and like the fact that too, like he must have paid so many people off, like celebrity people, like other people who are rich and powerful, he paid them off. Like that freaks me out too. Also, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we all know like a little bit about what he was hiding and stuff, but there's probably so much more that we just have no idea about. And even the
Yeah.
people that are like investigating that, and the people like the cops or whoever, like I don't know, the FBI, those people are getting paid off. So it's like that you can't trust anyone. Okay, we're good. Sorry. It's just like this cycle.
Yeah. And
Like,
that's
oh my God. Sorry.
crazy. And that's another thing. Like, you can't trust anyone. And
Yeah.
that's like, you should be able to feel that you can trust people in a society where you're living together in your community. I don't feel like I can trust my neighbors. That's horrible. Like, oh my God. And the news, and it's all the horrible things that happen in the world, and it's like all of everything accumulated makes you immediately not be able to trust someone or feel weary of someone the first time you meet them. And like if you're passing someone in the store, if someone's standing next to your car in a parking lot, you're like, maybe I shouldn't walk over there. Like they could be just tying their shoe. Like I don't know. It's crazy. We think in such a crazy way now. It's not. Nothing is simple anymore.
Nothing is simple anymore. That's so, I actually, every time I like am in a parking lot, I, while walking to my car, check under my car just in case. Like, why am I doing that? No one's under my car, but like, that's something that's been like programmed into my head to like be so cautious.
That's probably a good thing that you do that. I mean, I'm not advocating for people to be less cautious or to care less about anything, but just noting that we are thinking this way is crazy. And yeah, that's why I don't really like to I don't support the government at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't want to. I mean, like obviously I do. I pay my taxes every year. I what else can I say?
Whatever we do
I support. I probably pay a bunch of giant corporations without even knowing it. So in that sense I do, but like I don't support them because they're all lying. Like how do you know what to believe? And how do you know who to trust? You don't, because there's two main parties. The independent, first of all, like in the presidential elections, the independent never wins, ever. Because one, they either don't have enough money, or two, they're independent. They're not Republican or Democrat. So why would anyone trust an independent third party that's not one of the two main ones, you know? Because we're so programmed to have to feel like we have to like one or the other. There can't be a third option, you know? It confuses us, and we don't like it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. we want to be told. People, the masses want to be told what to, I don't want to say to do, like they want to be told what's right, but really it should be you figuring it out for yourself. Absolutely. You know? Crazy stuff.
That was so big in this like election year, because this is the first time I've been able to vote. So I same with you, right? You're a year older, so you voted already?
I think wait, what was it? Was 2017 was the
2016.
No, I could not vote. I was 17.
So yeah, so this is the first time like I've ever paid attention to politics ever in my entire life, ever. So, and like I don't know how you felt about the social media stuff, but I couldn't. You'll laugh at this, because my biggest pet peeve was that everyone was reposting stuff on their stories, and nothing was original. Like the information, no one fact checked it. Half of the stuff could be fake. We have no idea. Like it's just this random Canva made like shitty like Canva, and everyone's posting it. Like, and it's like, dude, you don't, like, someone told you to say that, and then you're gonna feel guilty if you don't put it on there. And that's part of social control, kind of more like peer pressure. And like that shit drove me nuts during this election. I deleted Instagram for a couple weeks. I couldn't even handle it, because it gets so much. And it's like, if I'm gonna, I don't know.
You're totally right. And you feel like you're supposed to like a certain person. You're supposed to follow what everyone else is doing. And if you don't, then you're like, I'm doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But you're not. Like, I am all for equality and
of course
racial equality, social class equality, everything, equality on all levels. And of course I'm an advocate for the environment, so I'm going to vote that way. But also everyone running president, anyone who has run for president, do they really care? Like, do they really care what we think? Do they really care? Like, I really want to know, like, what kind of person are you actually? Because who you are on TV is something totally different from who you actually are. And who you are on TV and in interviews is, you're scripted. number one, you're scripted. Number two, they try to cover up anything that shows any kind of weakness or like a pimple. It boils down to like facial discrepancies. Like I have this giant ass pimple. They would cover it up. You know, like there's no room for that in like the news and the media, and wanting to have a huge following, trying to have a following of everyone that makes up the US. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like,
And it's messed up. Like, it's like, that's not right.
I don't know. And there's no, like, I don't have a solution for this. Like, I don't have any answers to any of them, but it's just crazy to acknowledge. And yeah, again, I agree with you. This was the first election that I actually paid attention to, and I could actually vote, and I did vote, and craziness, just craziness.
It was just weird, and yeah, I felt the same way. And even with stuff with the news, like you said, like if they cover a pimple, like they're also cutting stuff out of interviews. Like they're just like clipping things together, like how I'll probably do this podcast, like or however, you know, like how people edit things. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. Us as people, like we have these interactions, right? And we want to have this emotional connection with whoever we're talking to or whoever we're listening to, whoever we're voting for. But like half the time, I feel like people fake those emotional connections just to get a majority of people to vote, or like, you know, a majority of people to like you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very
just like,
I'm kidding.
That's so funny. It's just like running for a position. Like we both had an interview for the positions that we're in AMA, and we tried to market ourselves and talk ourselves up. We gloated. We wanted them to know that we're the best at what we do, and that's why we got the positions, and we did a good job, I guess.
Yeah,
but just, I guess that goes into like interviewing for jobs and wanting to be the best candidate. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to say about that whole thing, but there's something there. There's something there.
You think there's something like really into social control there? Or like,
I don't know. I mean, it all boils down to it for sure. Yeah. Like being in positions in companies and just companies in general, like forming companies and having like a shitload of people work for you and you making the money and you're the owner and you essentially own all these people working for you, and it's just crazy.
It makes you want to move out into the middle of nowhere really, really fast.
Exactly. But that is unrealistic because none of us have the training to survive in the Arctic or in the woods and at the beach. Like,
hell no.
Unless you're a Girl Scout, Boy Scout,
I could never.
survivalist, enthusiast. Like, I don't know. I watch on TV, I was watching today, The Last Alaskans. And their family lives in Alaska. There's a section in the top right of the state, and it's like completely unmarked by humans. Like there's no roads for miles and miles and miles. And there's like 7 families there who had permits to live there in cabins all year round. And in 1980, they stopped accepting applications for those permits. So whoever had it before 1980, which were 7 families,
wow,
can now live there until their youngest children dies. Like their youngest child dies. So like they're the last Alaskans, like the true last Alaskans. They live off the land, they hunt, they harvest, they build their own houses. There's no roads. There's one airplane that they can take to civilization if they want to, but they don't even need to. They have everything they need. There's no human connection with the outside world, and I'm sure if they came to like the United States, they went to New York, they would be disgusted.
They'd be like, what the hell is all this? Go to Times Square. It'd be like a culture shock. Yeah, that's crazy. Exactly. That's what I want to live. That's actually exactly what I want my future to be after, you know, my life in New York. That's what I want. I just want it to not be cold though.
Exactly. I posted this thing on my Instagram story today.
I don't know if I saw it.
I want to read it. it was another day of staring at the big screen while scrolling through my little screen, so as to reward myself for staring at the medium screen all week.
I saw that. That was funny.
Crazy.
I saw that, and then I remember I was on like looking at TikTok, and then I went to Instagram and I saw that, and I was like, oh, God, like call me out, like damn. It was like shit.
No, calling all of us out. All
Yeah.
of us.
I really do like. I'll take breaks from watching TV to watch TikTok. Like this is ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's
it is
messed
crazy.
up.
I mean, we grew up in a technological age, so it's not like we grew up this way. I'm not saying that we're like not to blame for anything in the world. Of course we are, all of us are. But in terms of we were raised with technology, not like kids today where they throw an iPad in your face if you're crying, but which I totally hate. But it's not like we grew up at like our parents and we played outside for 23 hours of the day, and then the last hour of the day we slept. You know, our parents, at least my parents where I live, didn't allow me to go out and just roam around. Like there was fear there. Like you don't let your kid just go roam wherever they want, play in the neighborhood. Like someone could kidnap you and chop you up into a million pieces. Like there's someone in my neighborhood, actually, there was a story from the 80s, I believe. There was a Boy Scout knocking door to door selling whatever they sell, peanuts or something, and the man invited him in. I don't know what happened next, but he killed him, and he like chopped him up and put him into a suitcase, or into a briefcase. Yeah, suitcase. And the suitcase was found in the woods behind my neighborhood.
Oh my
How
God,
crazy is that?
That's terrifying.
Like I have no words.
So bad.
It's like a murder documentary.
Yeah, that's definitely like a film that was made somewhere.
And it's blocks away from my house. Like, that's so crazy. I'm sure that man is gone or dead or something because it was so long ago. But still, it's just, as a kid on like Halloween, I was told not to go to some houses. I was told to stick with a group, never go alone anywhere. Like the buddy system, we all know it, you know? It's second nature now.
It's like obvious to all of us. We didn't have to even think about it to know it. But that's terrifying.
Yeah. But back to social control, I guess.
Yeah.
Everything we do.
Everything.
It's like kind of hard to think about it, but the fact that we're on a Zoom call instead of at pace, or like driving somewhere to meet each other. I know we live far away from each other, but like if we live closer, I would love to meet, and probably do because of coronavirus and quarantining and virtual everything now, you know? Like how long is this going to go on for?
I hate when people bring that up because it freaks me out because it's so true. Like my cousins, they're like not going back to, well, one of my cousins is not going back to work. Like their company declared them for another year, like 2022 is when they're like, and I'm like, what? No.
That's a long time.
A long time. That's so messed up. Yeah, how do you think social control and coronavirus has kind of come together? I feel like there's a lot of similarities there.
There's a lot of ties there. There's a lot of ties there. I mean, I'm not at pace, not going back to pace. It's my last year, it's my senior year. I really wanted to be in frickin' New York City, living it up. Like, I wanted to celebrate my 21st birthday in New York City and go like bar hopping or something, or go out to a nice dinner in Little Italy or something, but that didn't happen. I spent it in my friend's garage with two other people. Like it's crazy, and we're on Zoom right now. Like this right now is a form of social control. Like everything is. Blue light blocking glasses. That's a good thing. I have them. I wear them every single day because I'm on my computer every day and I need them to not get a headache. I won't shut my computer and stop working. I'll just put my blue light glasses on because I'd rather not stop working and just get my stuff done. So I'd rather buy something. I'd rather purchase another thing to put in my room than maybe relax for a couple hours a day.
Could never
Could
be.
never. Could
Yeah.
never.
That's such a good point. I have blue light glasses too.
I mean, they work fantastically.
They're
I used
fun.
to get headaches so much, like horrible. Like I couldn't even watch. I mean, wow, this is a great example. I was just gonna say I couldn't even watch TV. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I would spend so much time on my computer, like 8 hours on my computer, and then have a huge migraine and just have to go to sleep. Like I couldn't do anything else after that.
I hate that. Yeah, now we don't even have an option. Like, I feel like before it was like, well, then get off your computer, get off your phone. It's like, you can't. Like,
I can't.
you can't do that. I feel like the battery in my computer is like messed up because I have to charge it every like 4 hours now because of how quickly the batteries because and then that's another thing with Apple. I mean, you have Apple products, I think, right? Like an Apple phone. Yeah. You know how like every time a new phone comes out, like the old phones stop working and then, something with the computer and whatever. Me and my friend were talking about this, how like if you have an Apple Watch, you have to have an iPhone. And if you have an iPhone, for the most part, you have to have a MacBook. And if you have a MacBook, you're probably going to want an iPad and AirPods, and they all have to go together. If you use Apple Music, you have to have an Apple product. Like,
yeah,
it's so culty. I hate it. But at the same time, I'm going to buy it forever. So like, I'm part of the problem.
Yeah. I mean, love cults. Don't get me wrong.
Oh,
love watching stuff about cults, love reading stuff about cults, but not this kind of cult. Not this kind. Mm-mm. I don't like this. I mean, obviously I have a Mac. I'm on a MacBook right now. I have Apple.
Yep.
This is my phone. I don't have AirPods, but that's a different story. I feel like I'll lose them. But it's just crazy. It's crazy. And they're not going to stop making iPhones. They're not going to stop making laptops or desktops. And so we're going to have to keep buying the new ones.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure, like, they probably say that in the terms of agreement. But who reads that? Who wants to take the time to read that? Nobody.
We should have someone read that. Like, we should hire some guy to read that. You know what I mean? Like, that should be something that, like, society does.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, but big tech is a huge problem. There's a big lawsuit against Zuckerberg right now. And I don't know. I haven't followed it that much, but I heard about it. And
it's like with the censoring of posts and like what people say and stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Bad. Mark Zuckerberg, I was reading a book about, I guess, politics and big tech and stuff. And it got brought up that, like, obviously Mark Zuckerberg runs Facebook, and Facebook is known for like taking all of your information away from you. And it's ironic that he's like, yeah, give me more information, like tell me more about like your age and like do these surveys, but in the same breath, like he lives on an island where there's no cameras, no computers, no nothing. He lives like with a moat around where like his house. I didn't know that. Like he literally lives in the middle of nowhere, yet he's gonna tell us about how we need to like share everything. Like it's so hypocritical.
All about the money.
I hate it. Ugh.
It's so horrible. Like people are so heartless, and like there's a saying, it's not personal, it's business, but like everything stems from a personal feeling, emotion, or act, like idea. It's all personal. There's no idea in your brain that has nothing to do with you. There's no idea that you can generate out of the blue without thinking about it forever that doesn't have anything to do with you. Like it's impossible,
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that.
And it's so crazy. It's just so crazy. I don't know. That's why I like, back to what we were saying before. I don't know. We were talking about, like spending time in nature.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to do that a lot because the world is freaking crazy.
God. It's so important to do stuff like that. I've been last night I tried to meditate. I'm like so not you'd think I'd be better at it. I'm like so terrible at meditating though. I can't sit still and close my
Well,
eyes.
it takes a lot of practice.
It's so hard. I've been trying to manifest more too. Are you into manifestation?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I literally got a notebook and I'm actually trying to manifest a boyfriend, which is so lame. But I was like, why not see if it works, right?
I mean, you can manifest anything you want. You can manifest literally anything. Do it. See if it works. Let me know.
I was like, that would be so cool. Like if I manifest a boyfriend and it works, like that would be wild. But I'm sitting here and I'm writing my things down and I'm like, all right, maybe I'll try to meditate and I'll like do my affirmation and I'll think about it and and I couldn't keep my eyes closed. I like couldn't sit still. But that's fine. One day I'll meditate more.
I mean, if I didn't have that like yoga background to go off of, I could never meditate ever. Yeah. Like we used to do it during the training, and we built up the time. So like we would first do like a minute, and then we went to 5 minutes, and then we went to 8 minutes and 10 minutes, 20 minutes. It was actually fantastic. And like I don't even realize what I'm doing after a while. I'm just focusing on my breath and like listening to what I used to tell people in Shavasana. Like I'm sure you know what Shavasana is. Like
of course, yeah.
after yoga class, the last pose is the corpse pose, which is pretty morbid, but it's Shavasana. You just lay flat on the ground with your palms up and you breathe. And I used to tell people I would always have the window cracked open a little bit, and it was kind of like a busy road outside. So I would tell people to listen to all the noises, focus your brain on the outside noises coming from outside the window, the cars, the wind, the leaves, everything. And then take that away, focus on everything inside this room. Take it away, focus on everything inside your head. Take it away, focus on your breath. Like that's a very like general way of saying I like talked more fluidly and like encourage the thought in my speech, but generally speaking, that's what I did. So it actually worked. Like people would sometimes fall asleep, which is like a good thing. Like you're not supposed to fall asleep during Shavasana, but that's a good sign. Like they took away all of their thoughts, they emptied their brain, and they could just focus on their breathing, and that's like a really important thing to do. And just that's why I love scuba diving.
Oh yeah, I know. I scuba dived once. One time my parents and I went to Hawaii, like when I was like a kid, not a kid, but younger, and we scuba dived.
Did you like it?
I think so. I remember seeing a turtle. It was kind of scary though. I'm a little bit scared of the ocean, just like a little, not a lot, like I go in it, but like a little bit, like shark's gonna eat me kind of thing.
Me too.
Right? So like we don't know anything about the ocean, and that freaks me out a lot.
I think we know more about space than we do the ocean.
Right, I think I heard that too.
There's some kind of fact out there that's like that, but which is so crazy. It's so crazy. But I love scuba diving because when you're down there, the water fills your ears, so you can't hear. It's like all muffled, and you only hear your voice. I mean, you're not your voice, your breath. So like you hear your every inhale and exhale, and it's very meditative and very soothing. And you're down there, you're with the fish, you're with the nature, you're with natural things, and it's beautiful. Like I always want to be down there. I don't want to come back up when I go scuba diving. There was this one time I was in Mexico. I've scuba dived in Mexico and Bermuda.
Ooh.
Bermuda was definitely cool because we scuba dived a shipwreck. That was really cool. It was like really, really old, decrepit, not like I don't know, it was falling apart, but it was really cool because we just swam through it. But
that's so cool.
In Mexico, I was scuba diving, and the guy, like there's one guide that goes down with you. There was like probably 4 of us diving, and then the guide was the 5th. So he has like these 2 pieces of metal, because when you bang metal together, the noise like travels so fast in the water, so you can hear it like very sharply. So to get our attention, he would bang the pieces of metal together. And then there's different like hand signals to signal like different animals. Like this is shark, this is, you can't really see my arm, but this is barracuda. You go barracuda. It's like
Okay.
for barracuda. So and then this is turtle. It's cute.
Oh, cool.
And there's one for a lionfish. You're not supposed to go near lionfish because they're super poisonous if you like touch it or something. But we were scuba diving, and we're scuba diving a dead reef, and I didn't even notice that it was dead. And that's like another thing I want to talk about, the environment, which is bad. But we were scuba diving, blah blah blah, minding my own business, swimming along, having fun, like very soothing. And all of a sudden, like my dad is in front of me, and all of a sudden I hear the banging in the, like he's banging the pieces of metal. So I like look over to him really quick, because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to get eaten by a shark. So I look over to him, and he does this, which is the shark symbol, and he like points to like an area, and I immediately look at the area, and like you just see a silhouette of like a huge ass shark like swimming by, and I was like, holy shit.
Oh my God.
Am I about to die? I was like, is this it? Like I couldn't see the shark close up, we only saw the silhouette, but I was like,
that's not to spook me, dude. I'd be like, I'm going up, see you guys later.
it was scary like at first, but I was so like in the zone down there. I felt like I was meditating for so long before that actually happened, so it was actually a lot more calm than I thought I was gonna be. Like if I immediately just went into the water and then we saw it, I would have been like, holy fucking shit, get me out of here.
Yeah.
But the fact that we were down there for probably like 30 minutes before that, I was a lot more calm, surprisingly. And my dad had an underwater camera. This is in 2015. I had a GoPro on me. My dad had like this underwater like digital camera. So he starts swimming after the shark. And I was like, all right, this is my chance to either like fight or flight. I don't know. I was thinking that way. I was like, this is my chance to either go crazy or like take a risk or be a wuss. So I followed him, and we're like swimming really fast after the shark, and I'm like trying to swim fast after him, and I'm like, should I be swimming this fast like to this shark right now? Like, I was like scared. And then we stopped because it like swam away from us. Like its silhouette just like got further and further away. But he did get some good pictures of it. And when we got after that, it was like probably 20 minutes later. When you're scuba diving, you have a gauge that shows like the oxygen level in your tank, like how much oxygen you have left. So they say like at a certain point, there's still like at that point that they tell you to go up, there's still a lot of oxygen left, but like you have to go up at that point. So it was getting around that time, and we all went up, and we got back onto the boat, and the guide was like, you guys are crazy, like you're swimming after a shark, you guys are fucking crazy. And he was like, he said that was a bull shark. And I was like, oh my God, we could have died, but I don't regret it, because I don't know, you have to take risks. You can't be scared. Everyone is so scared of everything. So it's like good to get out of your comfort zone and do something that might scare you once in a while, you know?
All the time. I'm
whatever
such
that
a
means.
believer in that. That's like that was like my life mantra. Although I'm not great at facing my fears. Like I still can't watch horror movies at all. But like spiders used to freak me out. Like I used to cry when I would see a spider, and now I'm like, let's go. Like you got nothing on me, and I'll just like put my finger in it and kill it. Like I'm like, bring it on. Like not a problem. Not really.
I'm not at that point yet.
You look at there, dude. I have a vacuum I bought, and I saw one in the kitchen the other day, and I was like, let's go. Oh my God. It's like
I only feel comfortable if I have a vacuum. Like if I still don't like stepping on them. Like I just can't.
I hate the sound of the crink. Like
I
that's
just can't. Like my friend will hang out in her garage sometimes, and there's like sometimes there's spider crickets that just come, and I'm like, they're blind, but they jump. And they like jump quickly. So I'm like, I cannot be walking near that. What if it jumps on me? What if, I don't know, I just freak out. I freak out about it. So she's like, you're such a wuss, just kill it. And I just can't. I don't know, I can't build myself up to it.
You gotta get through. For me, it was when I was like alone one day and like no one was around, so no one could kill it. I'm like, I'm not gonna let this monster in my house just like hang out. Like that's wrong. So then it's like, it really is one of those things where it's like, you either gotta do it or you just have to do it. You have no other option. So that's when I started killing spiders on my own, and now I'm a bad bitch about it. I'm not gonna lie. No, but I love like facing my fears, or like I always my best friend and I, we're so big on this, and I don't mean to keep bringing her up. She's just like, this is like our thing that we do, where it's like, how much self-improvement can a bitch do? Like, we're so into it. It's so bad. So we'll find like, what's the weakest thing? Like, what's the worst thing I'm like the worst at? Like, what do I need to improve on? And we make lists of things that we should do and how we can improve. And like those types of things. Like, I wish more kids our age would do that kind of stuff, because it sets you up for a positive mindset in life, and then you have good mental health, and like everything else kind of falls in place.
Absolutely, yeah. I want to hang out with you guys. That sounds great.
Yes, you would fit in so well with my friends.
I want to do that.
Yeah. We'll journal and we'll talk about, the things we can improve on.
Actually, I don't journal. I mean, I advocate for it, but I don't journal.
I don't journal either. I can't. This is the first journal I've bought probably since college. I don't even like writing stuff. I'm not very good with it. But my best friend, she's like a massive journal. God, she's weird about it. Like, she journals so much. She always tells me.
My boyfriend does it every single day, and it benefits him a lot. He writes his affirmations every single day, and it's great for him. It's great for him. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm into it. Like, I feel like it's an assignment. Like, if I do it every day, I feel like I have to do it. And if I don't do it, then it's like I'm doing something wrong. So that's like another thing I don't know. I just like to live my life in a flow, and I do what I want. And I know that sounds like really selfish and like
no, not at all. It's like, just
I try to just go with the flow, and if I don't like something, I go the other way. Like, I don't know.
It's a much easier way of
trying to live like a bit more in tune with my morals. Not morals. That's not what I want to say.
Like values.
A bit more in tune with like what I want and what actually matters. Like, if I'm not going to do something that will have no benefit to me,
Yes, I really do get that. Like, a little too much. Like, everything I feel like in my life has to get planned a certain way. So it, not planned, but like I'm doing everything for a reason, kind of a thing.
Exactly. And you should.
Yeah. You got to live life to the purpose. Phil and I talked about this a little bit too, more specifically with COVID, but it's a really good way of looking at things. But yeah, I can't journal. I'm terrible at it.
Yeah.
It really does work for some people though.
I just like to think in my head. Sorry, did I interrupt you?
Not at all. No, I thought I interrupted you. You're good.
I was just saying I like to think in my head, and in the shower is where I really get those thoughts going. But if I have like a word or a phrase that I really am like, damn, that's good, that's really good, I'll write it in my notes. And I have like so many things. I have a Word document on my laptop, on my desktop, and it's titled words, and I just have like words and phrases that I just
I love that.
think of, and maybe I could add them in a script one day. Like, that's my goal. That's my goal.
What do you think your first film is gonna, like, your first script is gonna be about? Not film. Well, yeah, film. I'm gonna go back to film.
Well, I have already made films. In college I made one film already. Mm-hmm. It's called Connections. It's about like, this is gonna sound like really fucking corny, but it's about like love and human connection through like love. So yeah, let's just leave it at that.
Leave it there.
But I do like to explore the idea of human connectivity on how we connect on different levels. Um, and yeah,
Yeah, I love that.
I don't know. I don't know what it will be about. I haven't started. I mean, I've started writing so many things and just haven't finished any of them because I'm not really happy with any of them. Which it's gonna take a long time for me. I feel like to write an actual good script that I'm happy with.
I feel
It's
that.
really hard. It's really hard.
I feel like we're perfectionists a little bit in different ways, so I could feel where that's a thing for sure.
Yeah. I have trouble with dialogue. Like, I find that, I mean, I don't know. I actually think I don't have trouble with dialogue. I have trouble with writing the action and the dialogue. Like, writing, like, the movement, what's actually going on in the scene, and then what they say. If I write both of them, I have trouble. Like, I have to focus on one. Like, if someone else writes the action, and it's like, okay, they walk up the stairs, the camera's panning from, like, it's tracking them from behind and following them up the stairs, and then moves into an over-the-shoulder shot, like, and then what is the person gonna say? Like, I have no idea. If I write that action, like, I don't know what sounds natural. I can't do it. But if someone else writes that and I just help them, I'm like, oh, they're gonna say this, boom. Like, it's so weird.
No, I feel that. I feel like I work better in teamwork too. Like even when we were working on different things, like you, me, and Jacob for stuff. Like if it's just me sitting, like doing like a flyer, I'm like, I got no idea.
Yeah.
But then when we work collaboratively, like I think I actually think that's a really great thing. Like people, especially employers, like people want people who can work with people.
Absolutely. It's better to have more than one brain on a thing. So, like, going back to social control, we we have routines. Everyone has a routine. Everyone, I mean, the goal is to get a job. That's our goal. We went to college, we want a job. That's the whole point of it, right?
Definitely.
College is a scam, but that's a whole nother situation. It's a whole nother conversation.
Cover that with Phil. Cover that with Phil.
I was thinking that you did. But you go to college, you want to get a job. Everyone has a job. We live to work. Which is like something I don't want to do in my life, but that's probably going to be a thing with me, along with everyone in the freaking world. So we get up every day, we go to work, 7, 8, 9 o'clock a.m., we have to be there. We work 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. The field I want to go into, I might be working 12-hour days every single day. That's like the norm with film production, like working on shows, going to the studio, being there at 6 a.m., leaving at 6, 7 p.m., maybe 8 p.m. That's crazy. But
days like that.
I'm down for it. I'm ready. But hire me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, we get up every single day. We go to work. We come home, take a shower, eat dinner, watch TV, maybe watch the news, go to bed. And then the next day we do the same thing over and over and over again. The weekend we have some freedom, maybe go out to dinner, maybe go out to lunch, see a movie, meet with some friends, have a party. I don't know. Do whatever you want on the weekends. But during the week, it's like a vicious cycle. Like we're waking up every day, go to work, go to sleep, go to work, go to sleep, wake up, go to sleep. It's like we're just like this revolving wheel. We're part of a machine. We're part of the machine that is society. And while we're in this cycle and we can't get out of it, there's people that are very powerful in the world that created these cycles for us to be a part of, that created them just so you wouldn't know what's actually going on behind the scenes.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah, it's freaky.
We wake up every single day. We do what our routine says we're supposed to do. We follow the schedule. We go to work. We have off days. We relax on our off days because we work so much. We don't even want to do anything on our off day. You know? Like, and meanwhile, we don't even try to worry or try to think about what the government is doing, what political people are doing, what powerful people in the world are doing, and what they're trying to manifest for themselves, you know? Like, there's things that could hurt humanity so hard and could destroy us, but we don't want to take the time to research it because we got to go to work tomorrow, and it's already 8 o'clock and I'm tired and I want to go to sleep, you know? It's crazy. So
That's so scary.
that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
That's such a good point.
Yeah, right? I mean, we're playing into it by going to college and wanting to get hired after college. And I like want to so badly just not get a job and not support any kind of thing. But how am I going to live in this world without making money, without having a job, without supporting any type of government, supporting any type of large corporation? How am I going to survive without having a car? Or even if I buy a bike or a skateboard or a longboard, I'm still supporting a company that thrives off of capitalism. Like, there's no way to escape it. So you just have to ride the wave, you know?
Yeah, there's no other option. It really is. Yeah. Yeah, that's really scary. Yeah, I mean, I it freaks me out how much, like, especially when it comes to politics and the government, like we have no idea what's happening, like, at all. I forget, the one guy I work with talks about the Queen of England a lot, right? Yeah. Right?
I'm watching The Crown right now on Netflix.
Yeah, I don't even know what he like talks gibberish about it. I haven't like really fully listened, but he talks like she's the problem with, like, he brings it back to her somehow, like all the problems. But I have no idea anything about it. But I think that's like, I don't even know who her like, I have no idea who she is. Like, isn't that like scary that I don't even know who or like could potentially be the biggest problem in the world, you know, whatever. Like, we just have no idea. And then people that don't even try to even pay attention to politics or anything like that, they have more or less knowledge. Like, we're really just all, like you said, sheep. Like, we all just follow what everyone else does.
Yeah. And I mean, even if we try to get like more inference and more knowledge on these crazy things, like, how do we know that it's the truth? There's no way to fact check it. There's no way, because how do you know if the way you're fact checking is the right way, or if it's the truth, or if it's facts, or if it's just copyrighted from something someone else wrote in an article in a newspaper? Like, we have no idea, you know? So that's why, like, I encourage people to go out and find the answers for themselves and to research it and to do all this stuff, because it's great. Like, you should be doing that, you know? But just always remember, like, how do you know that they know that that's the truth? And how do you know, like, even if there is a list of sources, like peer-reviewed articles, stuff like that you need to look at for research papers and stuff like that, it's peer-reviewed. There's so many sources, there's so many books, there's so many things that they read in like libraries and all this stuff. But it goes back to like the very beginning. Like, I don't even know. It's like, you can't rewrite society. You can't. Like, we are here and we just have to grow. So how can we do that in the best way for ourselves and for the environment?
Mm-hmm.
That's the question.
I don't have an answer for that at all, but it's
either.
definitely, I wish I did. I always think, like, especially when it comes to like fact checking stuff, like, we only know what they want us to know. Like, we can't look up something that they won't let us know. Like, we can only find out more about whatever. You get the point. I don't know why I'm like trying to say it a different way, but that freaks me out too.
Yeah. I mean, at least we're not in so much of a controlled society where they like censor what we're looking up on Google and stuff like that. Thank the universe that it's not like that in the US. But also, it just goes back to, how do you know that you can trust something like that? How do you know that it's facts, you know?
Yeah, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy shit, man.
And
all
not
right.
to be like, I don't want to end on a sad note, you know? Like,
no, not at all. I don't feel like that's a sad note. I feel like it's a really, like, it almost like challenges whoever's listening. Like, don't believe everything you hear, and you really don't know anything at all.
Yeah, nobody really
Yeah,
knows anything.
we really don't. I feel like it's so interesting to watch people be so passionate about different things, and it's like we really only know what we're being told. So you can be passionate, but we don't know what's true and what's not. Time for you to plug yourself. So if you want to, like, which is meant to be like a funny way of saying it, like plug yourself, like that's funny. But so you can, if you want to like plug your Instagram or something like that, you're welcome to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. I had someone who didn't want to put anything on there. So
Are you gonna edit it like if I say my Instagram, it's spelled weird, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Do you
right.
want to put it like have it pop up on the screen
yeah.
or something?
Yeah, I can definitely do that. I can also, I link
I'll
everything.
say it. I'll say it too, but
Okay. Yeah.
I just created this new
Oh yeah, I follow it.
yeah, I saw. I don't know. I just for a class I was taking this environmental and ecological art class, and I've been going to this reservoir like park by my house,
Mhm.
and there's so much like freaking trash there and pollution, and I've been taking so many photos of it, and for class I took photos of all of it and made commentary. So I like wrote on top of the photos, and or not wrote, but I put it in Illustrator and I put text over it, um, and just made like snarky, witty remarks about it. And I just want to know what people think about it, because
Yeah.
that's why I named the thing "You Don't Belong Here," because you really don't. Like, the trash does not belong there, and there were so many options for people to throw it away the right way, and they just decided to leave it. So just goes
Yeah.
back. It's another thing.
Yeah, no, that's facts. I remember talking to a friend of mine. He's a big activist, and someone asked him like, what is he the most like, like what's the biggest thing he's an activist about? I don't remember the right question, but he said the environment, because he's like, really nothing else matters if the earth isn't here. He's like, the equality doesn't matter. You won't be here. Like whatever it is,
Yeah,
it's gone.
exactly. Like, obviously, like I said before, I'm all for equality. I'm
Yeah,
all
of
for
course.
social justice, everything like that. But there's no point in fighting for it if in a like years or decades, however long, who knows how long it's going to take, because back to how do you know what's facts? It could be years, like minimum years. So why fight for something that's probably not going to be liked by a lot of people, and there's obviously going to be um, turmoil along the way. Like, if we all unite and like forget about stuff for a little bit and just focus on the environment, and then we can go back to it, like that's fine.
Right.
But it's like, this is our home and we're treating it like possible. Like, we're worrying about the wrong things. Obviously they're the right things, yes, I
Mhm.
support all of that, they're the right things, but in essence they're the wrong things to worry about right now. We should be worrying about the environment, we should be worrying about the earth, we should be worrying about endangered animals and all of this stuff, because it's gonna die and we're gonna die, because like, that's the bottom line. If
Mhm.
you want your children to have a happy and healthy life, then you will do something about it. Don't just sit idly by and fucking watch the earth die because you're stupid. I hate it. I get so angry.
No, it's a really good thing to be passionate about. I always feel like too, one of my good friends was really big into, I feel like I keep saying that, but I have a lot of friends that are into this kind of stuff. Yeah, but she always would pick out the water bottles from our trash can. She was my roommate. I don't know why I didn't say that. She would pick out the water bottles that we would throw away in the trash can because we were all lazy about it. And I remember one time being like, why the hell are you doing that? Like, you're putting your hand in like our trash. It's disgusting. And she's like, dude, like it takes 10 seconds. Like, it's like the little things. Like, this is the little thing I can do. And like, I can't do a big thing, like, whatever. But she's like, it's the small things like this that make the changes. And ever since then, I try to be the best I can be with environmental stuff, because it is important. And it's like the little things that matter.
That's true. If everyone does the little things, it is a big thing. Like, cumulatively, how do I
Mhm.
say that word? Humidity. I don't even know how to fucking say it, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not going to take one person to save the world. It's going to take all of us. So we all have to do something.
Yeah, but if we all act little, it'll make a big impact. Crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like voting. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. All right, cool. Well, thank you so much, Lily, for being on my podcast. This was really fun.
Thank you for having me.
So I usually give my guests like a couple minutes, hours, seconds, however long you need to plug yourself. So go for it.
Definitely follow me on Instagram. My personal account is Lily Walsh. I did just create an account called You Don't Belong Here, focusing on like the stupidity of people's actions and how quick people think and just how quick people choose not to think about just polluting the places they are, leaving trash everywhere, and my commentary on that. So definitely follow that. It's You Don't Belong Here. So yeah, thanks, Grace, for having me. I had such a great time, and yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Of course. Thank you. I love doing this kind of stuff. All right, cool. Well, make sure to tune into the next podcast. And yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to the Why Podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at why.official.podcast. If you're interested in being in the next show, hit the link in the bio. Tune in next week for another episode of the Why Podcast. And as always, stay curious. Bye, guys.